Welcome to part 13 of my review of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything and the final section of the subclass review. In this episode, we are going to be covering the new options and subclass options for the wizard. Before we jump into the video, a very small percentage of you guys who watch our videos are actually subscribed. If you guys haven't subscribed and you're enjoying the content of this review, be sure to subscribe. It's free and you can change your mind later. So without any further delay, let's jump right into the new wizard options. So here's the wizard section, and we're going to begin with the new optional class features, beginning with the expanded wizard spell list that can be inscribed into your spellbook. We have Booming Blade, Green Flame Blade, Lightning Lure, Mind Sliver, Sword Burst, Tasha's Caustic Brew, Augury, Enhance Ability, Tasha's Mind Whip, Intellect Fortress, Speak with Dead, Spirit Shroud, Summon Fae, Summon Shadow Spawn, Summon Undead, Divination, Summon Aberration, Summon Construct, Summon Elemental, Summon Fiend, Tasha's Otherworldly Guise, Dream of the Blue Veil, and Blade of Disaster. Summoner Wizard incoming? We'll have to see. Next up, we have Cantrip Formulas, a third level wizard feature. You have scribed a set of arcane formulas in your spellbook that you can use to formulate a cantrip in your mind. Whenever you finish a long rest and consult those formulas in your spellbook, you can replace one wizard cantrip you know with another cantrip from the wizard spell list. On a long rest, this is ridiculously good. And that is going to do it for the new options available for the wizard. Now let's move on to the arcane traditions. Now we have Blade Singer Wizard here. This is almost a word for word reprint of the original Blade Singer Wizard with two very minor changes. One, it is no longer limited to just the elves. The elves used to be the only class that you could canonically make a Blade Singer Wizard with, although you could just homebrew your way out of that. But now it is canon that any class, or any race rather, can be a Blade Singer Wizard. Aside from that, the only other difference here is your Blade Song. Instead of being able to use this feature only twice, you can now use it a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all uses on a long rest rather than just twice. Those are the only two differences for a Blade Singer Wizard, so we're just going to skip right over that and go right on to the new class, subclass, the Order of Scribes. So to begin, we have the Wizardly Quill at 2nd level. As a bonus action, you magically create a tiny quill in your free hand. The magic quill has the following properties. The quill does not require ink. When you write with it, it produces ink in the color of your choice on the writing surface. The time you must spend to copy a spell in your spellbook equals 2 minutes per spell level if you have the quill for the transcription, so a much faster inscription time for spells with this book, or with the quill rather. You can erase anything you write with a quill if you wave the feather over the text as a bonus action, provided the text is within 5 feet of you. The quill disappears if you create another one or you die. Pretty simple. Next up, we have Awakened Spellbook, a 2nd level Order of Scribes feature. Using specially prepared inks and ancient incantations passed down by your wizardly order, you have awakened an arcane sentience within your spellbook. While you are holding the book, it grants you the following benefits. You can use the book as a spellcasting focus for your wizard spells. When you cast a wizard spell with a spell slot, you can temporarily replace its damage type with a type that appears in another spell in your spellbook, which magically alters the spell's formula for this casting only. The latter spell must be the same level of spell as the spell slot you expend. When you cast a wizard spell as a ritual, you can use the spell's normal casting time rather than adding 10 minutes to it. Once you use this benefit, you cannot do so again until you finish a long rest. So the same principle as the Unearthed Arcana this was written in, changing a damage type of a spell based on another spell. Pretty good for 2nd level. It functions just like the transmuted MetaMagix from Sorcerer. If necessary, you can replace the book over the course of a short rest by using your Wizardly Quill to write arcane sigils in a blank book or a magic spellbook to which you're attuned. At the end of the rest, your spellbook's consciousness is summoned into the new book, which the consciousness transforms into a spellbook along with all its spells. If the previous book still existed somewhere, then all spells vanish from its pages. Next up, we have Manifest Mind, a 6th level Order of Scribes feature. You can conjure forth the mind of your awakened spellbook. As a bonus action, while the book is on your person, you can cause the mind to manifest as a tiny spectral object hovering in an unoccupied space of your choice within 60 feet of you. The spectral mind is intangible and doesn't occupy its space, and it sheds dim light in a 10-foot radius. It looks like a ghostly tome, a cascade of text, or a scholar from the past, your choice. While manifested, the spectral mind can hear, see, and it has dark vision out to 60 feet. The mind can telepathically share with you what it sees and hears, no action required, so little sentinel. Whenever you cast a wizard spell on your turn, you can cast it as if you were in the spectral mind space instead of your own using its senses. You can do so a number of times per day equal to your proficiency bonus, and you gain all uses on a long rest. As a bonus action, you can cause the spectral mind to hover up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space that you or it can see. It can pass through creatures, but not objects. The spectral mind stops manifesting if it is ever more than 300 feet away from you if someone casts dispel magic on it, or if the awakened spellbook is destroyed, if you die, or you dismiss the spectral mind as a bonus action. Once you conjure the mind, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest unless you expend a spell slot of any level to conjure it again. So it's a very nice utilitarian spellbook that is sentient and follows you around. Pretty nice. Next up, we have Master Scrivener, a 10th level Order of Scribes feature. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can create one magic scroll by touching your wizardly quill to a blank piece of paper or parchment and causing one spell from your awakened spellbook to be copied onto the scroll. The spellbook must be within 5 feet of you to make the scroll. The chosen spell must be one of first or second level and must have a casting time of 1 action. Once in the scroll, the spell's power is enhanced, counting it as 1 level higher than normal. You can cast the spell from the scroll by reading it as an action. The scroll is unintelligible to anyone else, and the spell vanishes from the scroll when you cast it or when you finish your next long rest. You are also adept at crafting spell scrolls, which are described in the DMG. The golden time you must spend to make the scroll are halved if you use your wizardly quill, so there's a economy saver right there. As I said when this was originally printed in Unearthed Arcana, I think the prospect of this being only level 10 and you being able to only write a single spell of only first or second level, basically giving you a free extra cast of a spell, I think this should be, the limit should be a bit higher on the level of spell you can cast, maybe like 3rd or 4th level spell, but this just seems a bit weak. Next up, we have One with the Word. 14th level Order of Scribes feature. Your connection to your awakened spellbook has become so powerful that your soul has become entwined with it. While the book is on your person, you have advantage on all Arcana checks as the spellbook helps you remember magical lore. Moreover, if you take damage while your spellbook's mind is manifested, you can prevent all of that damage to you by using your reaction to dismiss the spectral mind, using its magic to save yourself, then roll 3d6. The spellbook temporarily loses spells of your choice that have a combined spell level equal to that roll or higher. For example, if the roll's total is 9, spells vanish from the book that have combined a level of at least 9, which meaning 1 9th level spell, 3 3rd level spells, or some other combination. If there aren't enough spells in your book to cover the cost, you drop to 0 hit points. Until you finish 1d6 long rests, you are incapable of casting the lost spells, even if you find them on another scroll or in another spell book. After you finish the required number of rests, the spells reappear in the book. Once you use this reaction, you cannot do so again until you finish a long rest. Now, if you remember all the way back to the Unearthed Arcana that this was written in, you'll remember that One with the Word used to only prevent your death. If you ever dropped to 0 hit points, you would then roll your 3d6, and you would return to life 1 minute later within 5 feet of the book, reviving with 1 hit point. Now you can do more. So I think that this is actually a really solid buff to the Order of Scribes Wizard. While it used to just be only on death, now you can prevent all of that damage in the first place, preventing your death in the first place. Or if you just don't want to take a devastating hit at full HP, you can decide to use your reaction to prevent all that damage. I feel like Wizards recognized that this was a bit of a weak class, so they decided to make its capstone ability much better than it was originally printed. I'm happy that they decided to do this because, let's be honest, this subclass is a bit weak. Good job on this, adding a lot more versatility to the One with the Word ability. But guys, that is all we have for the new subclass and the reprint of the Bladesinger Wizard, as well as the new spells and options for the Wizard class. If you guys enjoyed this video and this review, be sure to leave it a like, leave a comment down below, any comments or questions you have, the power level of this class, anything. We got a lot of really cool base level spells though for Wizards, so that's a good plus. Lots of summoning conjuration spells. I'm excited to make a conjuration wizard now with all of these additions. This is going to conclude the subclass portion of the review, at least the first impressions. I'm going to do a much more thorough, wide-ranging review of the entire book later down the line, but this is the end of the in-depth portion of the subclass review. If you guys enjoyed this, again, be sure to leave it a like, subscribe if you haven't. We have a lot more Tasha's Cauldron of everything to go through aside from the subclasses, so be sure not to miss any of those videos coming really soon. And until next time, guys, have fun, stay safe, and as always, happy gaming.